Definitely. Another question that's home, I also technically get for that because I've been crafting a couple things. I've learned a lot about crafting as well. Because there's a lot of like systems that they don't explain very well about this. The way that it's done doesn't really explain what you need to do very well. So because of that, I was able to figure out how to get some like crafting recipes and how to get like the better gear and stuff. You have it. There's 1 second. Are you watching? Is that why you say that or just think that? You playing right now? Actually, no, there is a world where you can actually play it, but it probably wouldn't be very fun. Not right now. Not fine. Yeah, I think I'm already getting a little behind it. Hopefully I can see the sure. Hey. I'm gonna get that right. Play that one. think considering for the main story, this is probably the best one they could have done, because instead of being a full dungeon, it's this trial, but even though it has this different cutscenes, basically.
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
That's what I was saying, don't go to work.
Your foe acts under the protection of the crystal he bears.
So, this is what empowers him.
Beyond mortal limits. If you are to prevail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the ultima weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
I mean, even by me pushing to say that you should work, there is a world where if you're in that much pain, you could, honestly, mommy, you woke up feeling a lot worse, and you would try to see if you can figure out going to the doctor tomorrow, kind of thing. I know she's thinking later on in the week, it's your health, it's your body.
The magic within has lain dormant for eons.
And work literally asks, do you think you're gonna need another day off? As far as adding to your...
A spell without parallel. Ultima.
That you are working?
I sought the life force of the primals for no other reason but to quicken the core.
Yeah,
for the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
The other thing would be starting your day and being I thought I was okay enough, but I'm there.
No more than was necessary for my god to be reborn.
Damn you, Asian.
The hour is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power.
I think that's separate, even if you're going to try to keep it down. I don't think should be at your detriment now, because frankly you overbreeding now, especially with the whole workers' comp situation, can affect your ability to get that. You want to be taken. They are, but they're also... No, they are, but they're also... When you talk about, workers' comp and, accommodations and stuff, yeah. I know they can.
Such devastation! This was not my intention!
Oh, Heidelin, it seems the task of keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belzar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later, Asian. But first, I must deal with you. The question of who is mightier remains.
As hard as I think it'll be, as much as it sounds like.
Come, adventure.
Obviously, we can't exactly rely
Let us
on
find
family,
the answer together.
What they would say, because of course my mom and dad are both we love having you close. But my mom, I knew about it from the other day that had come up. Well, more so that it's not sustainable. That that if you're not doing your job, what do you do? That kind of conversation that we had. And then last I spoke, she was okay, if you do come down, where you guys live, and what else do you do? That's a little back in full nonsense. I don't know what it has to be. And like, yeah, like, I get what you're saying. It's obviously not easy, but like, all I can say is that you guys are being good parents and like, doing whatever you have to take care of like, your daughter. You know? Nothing really helpful, but more so like acknowledging the fact that like, yeah, there are people who's there, but that she thinks it's what's best for her. Obviously, it's also selfish, and I'm sure it's selfish in the fact that it's just come over here. Thanks for our comfort. Not that beggars can't be choosers, but it's a little bit of a solid balance. It's not up to us, depending on what happens with the dog and what's system. Because the other part of it is still true regardless, which is for the baby's safety and health. But I guess what your grandma says is not wrong, even though of course like I would hope that whatever happens, like, she's fine. But yeah, matter of fact, I guess, like, even though I'm watching her, she can't have a 100% connection for the sake of, if there was anything that like, she was me bad, so. Like what kind of life they were living. I guess I told you I talked to mom today, and she was kind of like, "Are you and Nicole doing okay with all of this?" And it's kind of like, we're doing the best we can. Like it's not great, but like what can we do? This is like we have to be here and do the separation right now, especially if it might be shot or if anything comes up. So we don't really have it. And it's not that like me and you. A bad person, I'm fighting with more so because unfortunately we have to be separate. It's hard for me. So we're trying to just be on the phone. I mentioned that like we figured out like a little bit of like a streaming thing so we can like somewhat play the game that we play together. But what did the cats have to do with it? At that point, normally, like we might as well, like. The fact that we have to be like switched to that, yeah, that's very realistic. the one that, I guess, is it worth looking to see if about the one that my sister sent, like if they're hiring? Like send an application. Yeah. Like favoritism, yeah. At most, there are 2 locations in very close proximity if they're owned by the same owner. Like there's a world you could try to argue like, hey, like if you hire me, like I wanted my daughter to be in the program, but like could she be in the opposite program from like where I work or something like that? Because they're literally like within like 5 minutes. Both of them are 5 minutes of our house. But it just obviously gets into an extra kind of like weirdness because then we're like doing 2 different stops and we would figure it out. But you know what I mean? Like there's other like, weirdness to it. The hard part is more the downsizing, moving expenses, and then trying to figure out more so the workplace, because with a smaller place also means potentially like more noise and like setting up the workspaces being more difficult. I was gonna say we might need a bigger place, like at least one that has a office space. I mean, we can never use our kitchen counter then. You get what I mean? Like, inherently, so I think it. I feel like maybe it was. I don't know, brain is a little. Just go back to the metro city center. Not the exact same room, but like that area. as we were talking, not exactly at all. I just spent like, 30,000 gold. I bought the Mithrite ingots instead of picking up. See what they sell tomorrow. No, shop selling price. It's 2,000, so if I'm lucky, maybe that'll sell for exactly the same. But, anyways, yeah. I know you want. I guess the hard thing is, I know you. That's very much something that I know you're. Oops. Only sold for 50. Okay, good. I got that. I sell it on the market, but that's eventually even if it's a little bit of a loss, not be honest. It's a lot, and it's hard because like the whole balance. I know that it'll be something that like you regret and you have a lot of hard feelings with, you know. Yes, honestly, for me, it just feels like, as much as it sucks, it's not the way that I would want things to be. Like, we're already at the point where we are having to move down south. Even though I very much value our space, we are still going to be dealing with some of the consequences, not all of them, of living, like, close to our family. You know? Like, my family is still going to want to see us all the time. Your mom and like your family, whenever they're throwing parties, it will be the expectation for us to show. But we are already dealing with a lot of the difficulties that come along with living there without much buffer. So at that point, it kind of feels like not the least, but the least we should potentially benefit is not having to like being able to save money. I mean, I would imagine if we're not paying $2,000 anymore, plus, and I told you, the math actually works out to be a lot more. Like $2,000 every month, plus $300 or so for electric, plus water, plus, you know, like plus all these other things. I guess, yeah, but that's a net neutral. Because whether it was coming out of my paycheck or yours, I think the math ended up being the same. The reason we split the insurance. That doesn't matter. I don't understand why you're bringing that up. Like, logically. Like, I guess maybe I'm missing something. I don't see, like, literally how we can operate. Maybe I'm just too tired or something, but like that doesn't make sense to me. But it's more than that because it's also electric and the rest of things. No, because we're already paying that cost. It's not like it's a new cost. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's where the money is coming from, that it's coming out of your paycheck, because regardless, that money is still being paid from our total of what we were earning. So if you total up everything we earn, we're making and spending, to throw out a number, like $5,000 a month in bills. But out of that 5,000, we are losing 2,000. But we are also subtracting $2,500 in bills. So it is still a net savings of $500. It is just being transferred from being taken out of your paycheck to my paycheck. You get how I mean? It's the same thing. We paid it. We paid it out of our paycheck collectively. Yes, but I don't understand what you don't understand about this. Like, I did the math of removing your paycheck from our total bills, and it's still a net negative. All what that's happening is the charge is being shifted from your paycheck to my paycheck. But when you're dealing with the whole numbers, if we are paying $5,000 in bills total, and then we subtract $2,500 from those bills, we are still making that difference. I think inherently you thinking so strictly about my paycheck is not the way to think about this. It's flat income regardless. But that's not correct. Because we are already paying that $500 for insurance. It's not like we're getting a new charge tacked on. It was a charge that was already spent. We are pooling our resources. Collectively, we made this amount. We are now removing $2,000 from the total amount we made, accounting for bills we were already paying for. It's not like we're getting charged a second time for insurance. I think you're honest. It feels like it's simple math. Like, maybe 1,300. I haven't looked at it very recently. To clarify things as far as the way I see it, the only way we would be losing money on that would be if the insurance cost more, with me paying for all three of those, which is possible, because the reason we split it in the first place was because of the fact that I think it was cheaper to do two separate policies like that versus do the full family plan, because the family plan charges you the same whether you are a 3-person family or like a 6-person family. Like, I mean, look at our total bills, right? I'm giving you numbers. We, at this point, between both of our paychecks, are basically breaking even, that we don't have to dip into savings, but we are not really generating savings. So if you total up like all of what we have to pay, that essentially makes what our total bills are for a month. So but you're so certain that you're right. You started this conversation. You don't think so? my point in all of this? What originally started this process? To an extent, a part of me feels like if we're anywhere in the remote area of minds and are trying to, if we're down there, we might as well take one of the very few benefits, which is saving money. But I guess you're saying that's not the case because you don't think we'll be saving money, but like, I disagree on that. I guess that's where no, I'm saying that the savings is the problem. Like, specifically for us. Like, I'm not talking about the pros for the baby. I'm not talking about, like, I guess I'm talking about pros outside of relationship. Obviously, she enjoys being around family. It's a form of childcare. And, like, seeing her grow. But, like, outside of the baby, living down there, and part of the reason we had originally left was because of the strain, obviously, with the relationships, as well as the difficulty of always being expected to be involved in family outings and like that kind of difficulty. As well as, like, obviously the more emotional difficulties of being in your mom's house and, like, stresses and stuff. Yeah. With savings, there's also the option of being able to do something like school, like other tasks that are even more difficult for us to do on our own. If I'm honest, I know it's hard to even want to talk about this. I guess I didn't really want to talk about this tonight. Like, are you looking at a screen? If you did, the reason I bring it up is I don't know if you noticed the giant whale that just came into my screen. Is that the O? I know it's relevant, and I'm not, like, knocking you for... I'm not knocking you for, like, it being on your mind, because as I mentioned, it's on my mind too. It's just, it's also hard. Like, I'm also going into work tomorrow. Like, I've also been, like, trying to be productive. It's just a lot. But I know it's not something that we can just indefinitely hold off on. Obviously, there's a lot riding on it, and we have to make that decision because depending on how things go, the sooner we. I don't. I think you just reported that you're having an issue. Can they get rid of people because of pain? Yes, but I don't necessarily think you need to kill yourself. I could be wrong, but... I think it's good. I go out. We'll see in a second. I zoomed in. Good. I think it's good. Gathering all this. I'm gonna just leave a lot of this alone. I'm gonna finish the one for this guy, but honestly, for the amount of money that it costs, like I don't think it's worth putting any more time into it. I finished this one because I already started it. But it's a lot. Like I said, your health and all of that is important. So in that, I want to make sure that we're doing right by you. I'm worried about, again, the long term, like your long term. some kind of compromise and not killing yourself, but also not. You are watching. Sorry, I was just kind of, while we were talking about this, doing what comes to mind, like that I can do kind of passively. Where do we leave off today? I got the cue for the daily alliance, so I'm glad it came fast. It took more than a few minutes over. As far as where we left off in decorating, I'm starting to run low on money, as I had mentioned. What were we actively on? Because we had finished the upstairs. On the downstairs, I got the other fireplace you had wanted. I had looked at them yesterday while we were talking. I didn't find anything that I specifically liked, but what I had told you is that, like, I don't know if part of it that's hard for me is I can't really imagine some of the combinations, because you were saying to put, like, the shelving and the other ones together, because the shelvings don't actually, when you look at them, they just go onto the floor. A bit weird, but a window down, so. Guess if you're able to, since I have my phone, make sure it makes sense to the balance your phone for a second. So, yeah, I think it's weird. We can look into the windows and stuff. I had started looking slightly yesterday, but wasn't sure what, like, how it would be. One of the things I mentioned is that there's like a simple curtain, which I thought was like cute looking, that I could see being like fitting that wall well, but it depends what you want. Like they seem like you wanted, I guess something a little bit like more. Like you want it, and like you specifically wanted like a dresser or something. So it's not that I have to be specifically like a big item, but like what's fill the space? Is something flat on the wall considered filling the space for you? I guess is kind of the point as well. I guess for me personally, I didn't feel like the space looked super enclosed, but it's not as aesthetic. Like, at least from what I saw, it didn't seem very off because we had so much other stuff. It didn't seem like super enclosed. But I also am not against something being more for the future if it feels like possible. possible. It's not a bad thing. If that's what I get taking for damage, but probably a little bit of like a everyday thing. We're most of the way through. There's 2 more fights. If I remember correctly, I think this is Cerberus, the dog. And then, oh no, it's the big mouth guys, and then it's the actual darkness lady, and then it would be the part of me getting on originally was I guess I didn't have bad to do dailies. Like classes and stuff I don't have to do but I can no, it looks like this. Little stabby stabby. perspective. But I feel like typically I don't see those multiple sides of things. I was thinking it would be expensive. Obviously, you're not here, so we can't progress story, but I do feel like we're due to actually some end story to unlock some things to make money. Yeah, that would be a good thing. Once this is done, I was going to try and get up some food. Yeah. Let's get up food and eat while back. Still in the middle of the fight. just too much damage. I mean, part of me originally was putting it up just to like see much you get out of contesting, and then if you see it, okay, I mean, I could necessarily, but I guess what do you think? Just like support. We don't know what. Someone's like, nice job, bro. That's a good bar. Who was that? She was hot. That is a literal super bowl. want you to get some rest. I had forgotten in my head that you were gonna talk about you. That emoji might have been intentional for something. That looks like a Freudian slip. That's a good one.